Yo, hey guys, Ken Perryman here, and I am back again with another DJI comparison across their cameras. We're going to compare the 5 to the Pocket 3. The reason why I want to do that is I want to show between the DJI devices, with this guy having the 1-inch sensor and this guy having the 1 over 1.3-inch sensor, with it being a little bit different, again, being an action camera, not being an action camera, we are going to do a daylight video comparison between these two devices. I'm not going to do a full breakdown against the two devices themselves and their features. We could do that at a later time, but currently this is just a video recording. I just want to show you what it looks like with the recording of the video in daylight. Number one, I'm going to show you what these guys will do in the house with some daylight coming through the windows and what kind of like a daytime, but in a house or in a room with some daylight coming in direct daylight. Number two, I'm going to take it out into a street area. We're walking down a street. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the street aspect. Maybe it's a daily walk, or you're riding your bike or driving along and there's cars passing by, there's trees over to one side and there's sidewalk and whatnot. It's the concrete jungle. We're checking it out. And number three, the bigger test, I believe, with action cameras is their ability to record video through the changing and pulsating lights in a forested or tree covered area. There is an area that I like to go walk down. The point is there's this area where there's a bunch of trees. It's off the side and it looks like you're walking through a nice little forest. Now, we are in the middle of fall, so you're going to see a bit of foliage reduction, but this is going to be, I think, the better case of going from a darker to a lighter condition back to a darker, back and forth. So you get to see how both these cameras act in this situation. Both cameras are going to be set to 10-bit standard. They will be set to 4K 30, auto white balance, auto exposure, with the Action 5's field of view being standard and non-dewarped. And the Pocket 3 will be at the standard 16.9. You can zoom in and zoom out, so it'll be fully zoomed out like it's supposed to be. Both of them have the sharpness dialed back to -2 and the noise reduction dialed back to -2. I've wrote these down to make sure that I maintain as close as possible to a normal camera. Other than the -2 aspect, most of this stuff and also the color 10-bit is a small adjustment. Everything else is set to auto. And with that, let's go ahead and show you the rig I'm going to use. It's going to be this guy right here. So I will be using this. And when I turn it back and forth, I'll have to adjust this a little bit to turn it towards me. So it's a proper arm length and distance away, because we got to make sure that cameras are doing its best that it can with just a little bit of me. You don't want me all in there. So with all that said, let's go test it out. Yo, all right, guys, here is the first test. Indoors, I'm using both of these mics. Now, gesture in this direction is the Action 5 Pro, and in this direction is the Pocket 3. Both DJI cameras, obviously, we talked about. So this black mic goes to the Action 5 Pro, and this white mic goes to the Pocket 3. This is inside. Indirect light, I believe it's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no direct sunlight coming in, but my windows are open, and we'll switch the camera around here in a second. You'll see what I mean. We are in an open, very light-letting room. This is probably the best condition during a daylight with the sunlight, or at least indirect sunlight shining through the windows. Perfect place to do something like this, maybe at the table or whatnot. So that is the test number one. What do you think? Obviously, we're talking about the Pocket 3 and then the Action 5 Pro. Now let's switch it around. The Action 5 Pro, I believe, looks pretty good. I don't know, I'm actually stepped away from the camera, so I can't tell. It looks good. Again, a bunch of sunlight, indirect sunlight, not direct sunlight, but indirect sunlight coming in behind me. One of the not so good conditions you want to do with the camera. The Pocket 3 on this side, you can't even see me, I don't think. I don't know, I can't see me in the teeny tiny screen that is there. Again, let's see. I don't think you can see me very well either way. Now, I get close to the screen, you can see that the Action 5 is doing pretty well, and the Pocket 3 is not. I've got it in face tracking mode now, and it's tracking my face. It's adjusting now. Wow, it's making an adjustment now that it knows to focus on my face more. Okay, that's interesting. So once I go ahead and tap on the screen and tell it to focus on my face, let me see, I can't tell the Action 5 to focus on my face. Let's go back, watch me. You still tracking me, sir? You still tracking me? Okay, all right. So this appears to be a little bit better now. Not good, but better on the Pocket 3 because now it's focusing on me, right? Yep, it is. And I like that it's focusing on me. You can, in the Action 5, put it into a face focus, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now, just because. I'm cheating a little bit with the Pocket 3, but straight out with the Pocket 3, when I'm not telling it where to focus, does seem like it's trying to focus everywhere and maybe more so in the background and on the lit area. All right, now we're off to do the outside. We're gonna go outside, walk the streets. Sounds wrong the way I said that, but you know what I mean. We're gonna walk around on the street, give you what a street view looks like with this. So let's go get some water, let's get the backpack loaded up and get on out. All right, here we are. We're on the road, a lot of traffic. Now, there's a section of this road here where quite a bit of it's covered by trees. So this is probably a true telltale of what it's gonna look like when you're walking outside in the city environment that has some trees. And this is just walking outside and going into off and on shadows. All right, we'll try a little bit more later. All right, guys, here we are. Sitting at a crosswalk waiting for the light to change. Right now, kind of the cityscape environment where the sun is above me but behind me a little bit. We're gonna go across the street where there should be a majority of sun and we'll see how that looks. All right, yellow light, we're gonna start walking. Let's hope we get to go. We do. Cool. Sweet. Start walking again. Once again, the sun is over in that direction. I'm using this. So what we're gonna do is switch it around so y'all can see instead of just me. Just see how the color of the trees and the area looks like. Now I will tell you one benefit is that when I turn the whole thing around, the Pocket 3, I can't see its screen because I've turned the whole thing around. All right, but now with full daylight, I'm not being overly cautious on how I'm basically holding these two cameras, and they got a little bit of girth to them. So it is shaking a little bit. I don't know if it will translate. I am also holding it vertically, so my up and down might be, if you look closer to me, like that tree that just passed, here's a tree upcoming. As the tree gets closer, you should be able to see it bouncing more when it gets closer to the edge of the camera or closer to the camera. From this walking avenue, this is a huge, wide open space. It's a multi-purpose path out here, so you can bike ride and walk. So anyway, this is what it looks like. Let me move this way a little bit. You can see the sky. How does the sky look? Do you see the clouds? There's a clear contrast of blue and white. We got some puffy clouds out there, along with some openings that show the bluish, light blue sky. So does that translate across both cameras? I'm sure hope it does. Especially the Pocket, I can't even tell because I can't see the screen. The standard demo would be to triple click the button and the camera would spin around, but that wouldn't work for the other camera, so I have physically turned them around. Hopefully it's at the proper distance away. The sun is back over that way. Now 5 minutes in, the Action 5 screen is turned off. I can't tell if you can see a good looking sky in this, but now I can see with the Pocket 3, it does look good. We will then go into the wooded area, and it's actually across the street over there. I don't know if you can hear it through the mics. We'll still hear a bit of the lovely traffic noise, but we'll do it underneath a larger canopy of trees. We'll really test the camera's muscle, its flexibility, when we go into shaded area. I'm kind of doing it now a little bit, but it really is going to do it over there because there are some evergreens in there, magnolias. There's still a lot of trees that have a ton of leaves still on, so I think it will be the true test. We are kind of open area. You can see sky above me. sun is poking out, but the sun is over here behind some trees. So I'm still kind of in a shaded area, and that looks pretty good. We've got another more shaded area to come here in a minute. Here's what it looks like, again, faced on me with my bright red shirt contrasting with all the colors behind me. What do you think? We're getting a little bit of the sunlight into the camera lens. Hopefully it's taking care of it pretty well. And then we're about to cross into another street that will take us back into another portion of this park. And you'll see the industrialization world back into the forest. What a great utilization of the space. Now, I'm not here trying to politic for some great wilderness and space stuff, but how cool is this? Now, I think a really good test of the camera's color, lighting, everything's ability for both these cameras is it just got very, very dark. It looks good. So, as we walk along in a darker aspect, now that I've switched it over, you can see now where it's on me. This is pretty dark over here. It is now on me. I'm at a decent distance away, an arm's length literally away from the camera. This is how it looks. We're getting to the end of the trail pretty much. So when I ask, what do you guys think? How do you think? Pretty nice? How's it standing? Oh, this is a really dark area. I mean, for daylight. Cool. So I feel like as we get back into our urban landscape, get back to the real world, the city, I think that we've walked a large gamut of color, light changing, and I think with the city, or with the forest behind us, I think we did pretty good. So I'll leave it to you all. I'm not going to try and get into too much, but hopefully you'll tell me what you think. Back to the city. Back to the sun underneath the clouds. A bunch of cars passing me. We're back in the concrete jungle. I see the reds. They look good. They look really good. All right, let's kill it.